And now subtractions. Subtractions are exactly the same process as addition. You just have to be very mindful of your positives and negatives. So we'll run through a few examples and hopefully that will make you feel a little more confident. So let's start with our same procedure. Check to see if there's anything to reduce ahead of time. There's no factor of x plus 6 on that top, so no, not in the first one. Then for the second, yes, here we can reduce a little. So this would go to a 1, and then the 6 up top to a 2. That's going to leave us with 2x over 1. So then LCD, let's see what we got. We're going to need that factor of x plus 6, and that's it. So the LCD this time is x plus 6. The factor of 1 doesn't contribute anything. So we need to multiply by x plus 6 over here, and x plus 6 up above. Okay, let's then see what we got. X plus 3 over x plus 6 minus, now distribute the 2x, so 2x to the second plus 12x all over x plus 6. Now, when I say be mindful of signs, I personally like to do it this way, so I recommend this method. When you got the minus, change it to an addition, and then change the signs that come in the next fraction. So addition of the opposite. And write it all in. If you try and do too much in your head, you're very likely to make an error. Now it's a matter of putting our like terms together. So I've got a negative 2x squared. We then have, we then have 1x minus 12x's. So 1x plus the negative 12x's. That's minus 11x's overall, with a plus 3 on the back. That's all over an x plus 6. And lastly, throw in a restriction that x cannot be the number negative 6. Otherwise, we divide by 0. So, see, it's not any different than with the addition. You just have to be a little bit careful when you are dealing with that minus sign. It changes the signs in the next numerator. Let's continue on. Here's another. Let's have you give this one a shot, and then we'll take it from there. Hope you have already tried some progress on your own. Our first check, can either of these fractions be reduced? Nope, neither of them can, no common factors. I'm going to leave a little space to make the common denominator easier to put in, and then a p plus 1 down here. All right, so what do we need in this LCD? We are going to need, from the first fraction, the factor of 4p plus 3, and then from the second fraction, the factor of p plus 1. You just need them both. So here we need the p plus 1 on the top. We need the p plus 1 on the bottom. In the second one, it's the 4p plus 3 on the top, and also the 4p plus 3 on the bottom. Please don't get stingy. It is worth writing these steps out to make sure that you don't do something incorrectly. Distribute on the top here. 2p times p is 2p to the second, plus 2p times 1. That's over the common denominator of 4p plus 3p plus 1. Leave that as a minus for right now. Now distribute 5p times 4p. That's 20p to the second, plus 15p, and that's all over the common denominator. Now, you'll notice I switched the order of the factors here. That's just to be consistent. The order doesn't matter when you're multiplying. So the person in me that likes things to be the same, I always write them the same. Okay, switch now, subtraction to addition of the opposites. And then let's see what we got. So 2p squared plus negative 20p squared is negative 18p squared. And then 2p plus negative 15p is minus 13p. And that's all over the common denominator of 4p plus 3 times p plus 1. Let's do a restriction. Did I do a restriction on the last one? Yeah, okay. Make a note that p should not be equal to negative 3/4 or negative 1. That way we avoid division by 0, and everybody can have a happy day. And then lastly, let's give this one a shot. First check, are there things that we can reduce? In the first one, no, because there's no a minus 2b factor on the bottom, and the top doesn't factor at all. So leave the first fraction alone, please. But in the second one, yes, the 3's reduce, and then one of the top a's reduces with one of the bottom a's, meaning we just have an a to the second on the bottom. So minus 1 over a to the second. Let's find our common denominator. So from the first denominator, we need a 5, we need an a to the second, and we need a b. From the second denominator, we need an a to the second, but we've already got an a to the second. You don't need more. So there's our LCD. So in the second fraction, what's missing? I need the factor of 5 and b. And so on the top also, whoops, sorry about that. I need a little 5 and b. Over KB. So there's first fraction, nothing changed. And then here it's just minus the 5b over the 5a squared b. So put that together. Like terms. So we got a, but there's no other a's. And be mindful of the minus. It's negative 2b minus 5b. That's minus 7b's overall. So I want to drive home that point. You'll notice this is the same as we did for addition. Common denominator, change the tops. It's just that when you are then doing that final step of simplifying, you've got to be very mindful that the minus changes the signs in the numerator of the next fraction. So it's a negative 2b minus that 5b. Restriction-wise then, we want to make sure that we don't let a be 0, and we don't want to let b be 0, but other than that, everything is cool. So your simplified expression, together with the restrictions, should have you all set. If you would like some more examples, take a look at the recordings where we have the practice worked out, the odd numbers anyway, and then as you have questions, check in with your classmates, check in with me.